Don't stress about anything. I know brother is gone, but you and me together, we will raise this child. All will be fine. You won't even know it. Tiny little Riley will be all grown up. Nora looked at her sister-in-law carrying her newborn and cuddling it to sleep once again. She had been awake, taking care of Riley for the past 7 days straight. Don't you need to get some sleep also, Claire? No, it's fine. I won't be able to sleep thinking about Riley anyway. She laid down Riley in his crib and sat down next to Nora. Are you feeling okay? Yes, I'm fine. I mean, about brother and what happened? Why? Did the police get any information? What did they say? Unfortunately, no. They're thinking about closing the case. Well, what's there we can do? We can't force them to do anything. They say they can't find any clue. No, I'm not going to let my brother's murderer get away so easy. I'm going to get to the bottom of this even if I have to do it by myself. It had been about 1 month since Riley's father had passed away. Just about 2 months ago, he went on a business trip. He was supposed to be back within 2 weeks, but he never came back. The baby will arrive anytime soon, and you have to leave at this time? Don't worry about it. There are still 2 months left, and I'll only be gone for 2 weeks. Claire, make sure Nora takes her meds properly. Be home soon, okay, brother? I will. It was past 2 weeks. Claire and Nora counted each minute of each day after those 2 weeks had passed, but the bell didn't ring. Until one evening, Claire ran to the door. Brother, where were you? Excuse me, is this the Smith residence? Yes. This is the FBI. Is this the address of William Smith? Yes, that's my brother. I'm sorry to inform you that your brother may have passed away. We need someone to come with us to identify the body we found. When Nora got to know of the news, she couldn't control herself. She spent the next few days in the room sobbing. Claire managed to feed her a few bites here and there, but she knew she had to do something to get things off Nora's mind. She thought tomorrow she would suggest going on a vacation somewhere far. But when she woke up in the morning, she saw Nora was absolutely fine. She was laughing, joking, making breakfast. Claire couldn't understand, but she thought maybe Nora was trying to do what's best for the baby, the only memory of his father now. Now that Nora was doing better, Claire tried to contact the businessmen that her brother was set up to meet, but they informed her that her brother never met them. She contacted the airlines that he had booked, but they also said that he never boarded the flight. Everything was strange. The police had mentioned to her that they found his body under the Kingston Bridge, which was about 3 hours from here by car, which he was never supposed to take because he booked a flight. Nothing made sense, and the police were no help either. Claire tried to keep Nora out of this as much as possible. She didn't want any negative side effect on her brother's child. After Claire's parents had passed away when she was only 2 years old, it was her elder brother that took care of her all these years. She owed it to him to take care of his child. One afternoon, after lunch, Claire and Nora were sitting out on the patio while Riley was napping in his playpen. Nora, did brother tell you anything before he left? Any clue that we could use? Claire, what is wrong with you? Whenever we sit to enjoy some quiet time, you have to mention your brother. What do you think, I don't care about him? You're not the only person who cares, so stop acting like it. Maybe you're the one behind all of this. You want to own this house, and this act is to cover it all up. Claire froze. Why was Nora behaving like that? She could have had her word with Nora as well, but she remained quiet. Nora was going through a tough time as well. She didn't mean what she said. Riley started crying and Nora pushed the chair away and walked up the stairs to get the baby. That night, Claire had an awful nightmare. She saw her brother getting out of his car on the middle of the bridge, and someone came from behind him and pushed him over, and that someone was no other than herself. She was sweating when she woke up in the middle of the night. She drank some water and brushed it all off. It was only a dream. And she snoozed off again, only to get terrified with another nightmare. This time, she saw herself walking around the house. It was absolutely dark. She could barely see anything. She then saw a door. She saw the light was on from under the door. She opened it and there was Riley sleeping in his crib. She picked up Riley and took him to the backyard, where there was a small hole already dug. She took the child and buried him while he was still sleeping. Claire woke up to Nora screaming in her room. Claire was shaking and drenched in sweat. She felt like she was going to be sick. She ran out the door to see what was wrong. Nora was crying in her room. "Riley is missing. Did you come check on him in the middle of the night?" "No, what do you mean? He can't even walk. Where could he go?" Claire was worried. She remembered her dream. Had she? No, that's not possible. It was only a dream. What? You know where he is, don't you? You did something to Riley, you murderer. First you killed my husband and now you're after my child. Claire swung her hand and slapped Nora. She fell to the ground. Her lips started bleeding. That's enough. Let's search for Riley now. Claire left the room. The backyard was the first place she was going to check. She prayed to find it empty, the ground untouched. She opened the back door and she started screaming as she saw a small mound of earth in the garden. She ran to it and began digging the ground with her bare hands, as her tears dropped from her eyes. Nora ran after her. "What are you doing? You buried my child alive." Nora pushed Claire over and began digging the ground herself, and in matters of minutes she held in her hand a lifeless child covered in dirt. Nora was silent. Claire began to scream and cry. She crawled over to take Riley. Nora turned around. "Don't touch my child." "Nora, it wasn't me." Claire was heartbroken. She couldn't work out anything in her head. All of a sudden, the door broke open. Police were here. They took Claire by her hands and handcuffed her. The paramedic team took Riley, and Nora followed them to the ambulance. Claire couldn't understand anything. She sat down in the back seat of the police car and watched the last glimpses of Riley until the back door of the ambulance closed shut. She stared at the ambulance. She saw Nora looking at her through the window, with a huge grin on her face. It was her. That wasn't any ordinary nightmare. She was actually hearing the noise. She was hearing the sound of the shovel. She was hearing Nora hum her lullaby. Nora murdered Riley. They'd never blame me. Why would a pregnant wife kill her husband? Why will a mother kill her child? What they don't know is how much I hated that man. Paying that fisherman $1,000 to push him over was worth it. Now the family is finished, once and for all. If only I could have sent his sister with him. That would have been easier for you, Claire, but you had to make things difficult. So I had to step up the game as well. Now rot in jail while the rest of your family can rot underground.